Hello, my fellow collectors. This is going to be a pretty huge video in terms of the comics that I'm going to show. These are all comics that I purchased in the last few days. I actually purchased them several months ago, but they all arrived all at once in the last few days. It is a huge collection, like really huge. Um, and I'm also going to tell you about something that's kind of going to come up next week that you're going to want to watch out for. So I'm going to go into the collection that I got. It was actually 3 large boxes of comics, and just like all slabs and raw comics, and like just 2 big stacks like that of slabs and some pretty major keys that if you don't have, you should be looking out for. These are ones that I kind of spec'd on, but also bought based on the kind of comics that I really love. I always buy comics that are for my personal collection. These are all going to be for my personal collection, really. So if you're a collector like me and you love the movies and TV series, these are the comics that you should be looking out for. And I'll get right into it, not to bury the lead too much. This is the first stack of the raw comics. Let's see. And these ones I purchased a lot, mostly from mycomicshop.com. They're a very good site. You should check them out. The first one is this one, the New Teen Titans. And this one is not a major one. It's like a $4 comic, but it's the first cameo appearance of Trigon. He's the father of Raven, if you know the TV series. The next one I got was Lois Lane. This is a very low copy. Actually, I bought another copy of this later, which is a higher grade, but this is a low grade. This was like $45. But it's the first Silver Age appearance of Catwoman. That's Superman's girlfriend, Lois Lane, number 70. Okay, and that's the first Silver Age appearance of Catwoman. So that's kind of a cool one to get. And then I got Detective Comics 474. I was a big fan of the first Suicide Squad, and this is the first appearance, first modern appearance of Deadshot. He appeared earlier, like in the 50s actually, but he was a very different character. He was kind of like this playboy type, similar to Batman in many ways. And he had his own little target practice in his basement, and he would just practice being a really good shot. And he was an evil character in the original Detective Comics, but then they re-released him and they gave him a bit more of a story. And this is his first appearance in Detective Comics 474. So kind of a cool one. This is a weird one. This is another cheap comic. This is like a $3 comic. This is X-Men what the X-Men Christmas special number 10. So it's what the. Now this one is kind of one of those ones that's probably under most people's radars. It doesn't like people don't even know what this is. It is the very first appearance of Bart Simpson in comics. So he makes a brief appearance in this, and it's actually his first appearance in comics. So it's Bart Simpson's first appearance. It's kind of cool. So it's like a cheap comic. You can pick it up, and it might be one of those ones that becomes valuable later. This is another one that's really, it's now kind of going up in value pretty quickly, but it was kind of under most people's radars. I paid $14 for it. Just so you know, now it's probably about $100. It's really shot up. But this is the first appearance of Bebop and Rocksteady in Ninja Turtles. So it's kind of a cool comic, if you can see. And this is just one that my son and I were joking about. And this is the Rainbow Raider. And the reason we're joking about this is in Teen Titans Go, they were kind of making fun of this character as being one of the lamest characters, lamest bad guys. So he has the power of rainbows, And so I just picked this up as a kind of a joke comic. It's another $3 one, and it's Flash 286, the first appearance of Rainbow Raider. So another one you might want to pick up. A couple that I actually picked up at my local comic store. I've got the variant copy of Black Widow #1, and this will be, it has the older Black Widow, but this will be the newest series with the new Black Widow. So kind of cool. And the other one that I picked up at my local comic store was Batman Joker War #1. These are just ones I paid cover price, but they're kind of cool kind of comics that I recommend people check out, because I think Joker War will be a pretty big series. So yeah, that's just some from my local comic shop that got mixed in. But then this one is kind of cool. This is the first Silver Age appearance of Red Tornado. And it's just a character that my son likes, so, you know, and I've seen him in a few of the movies. So it's just kind of a cool character. Uses the power of tornadoes, and just kind of a cool character. That's his first Silver Age appearance, which is in Justice League of America, #64. So just kind of cool first appearance. And this one is one that, you know, back in the 80s, I guess. This is the first Macross, you know, big robots, Gundam stuff. So yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's something I watched the movies and TV series for. So yeah, just a Macross #1, first appearance of Macross, and the English version. And then this one is a really major one. This is the first appearance of Reverse Flash for Dr. Zoom, and it's Flash 139. So it's a pretty major key. This one would go for about $300-400 in this grade. It's like a graded 4.0. So it's like a $300 or $400 comic, but a really major key. Reverse Flash kind of plays a major role in a lot of the Flash movies, and he's just kind of a cool character because he's just as powerful as the Flash, but evil. just kind of a cool character. And the next one is Strange Tales #135. This is kind of a major one. This is the first appearance of Hydra, and this is also the first time where Nick Fury is wearing the eye patch, and he's like sort of he's not like the earlier Nick Furies. He actually gets his eye patch earlier, but the earlier one, he's more of a military commando kind of style kind of thing. But in this, he's kind of like more like the James Bond style. So they really changed his whole character, and they made him sort of like James Bond in this one. So this is kind of a major key because it's really the Nick Fury that we know from the movies. And the funny thing is, even though the character is actually white, just so you know, but the way the tone is, it almost looks like Samuel Jackson. You know, it's kind of funny. It's like he looks very dark. So it's kind of funny that it's almost like predicting the future. So I think that I actually really like Samuel Jackson as Nick Fury. He did a really good job. So kind of thought that was cute. So the next one is Kung Fu Fighter, and this is Kung Fu Fighter #5. And this is the first appearance of Lady Shiva. It's kind of a cool character. You know, she's Kung Fu master. I don't know. I just kind of like female superheroes. So Lady Shiva, kind of cool. And this one is actually one that is going down in value, and that's why I picked it up. I picked it up really recently. I forgot whose first appearance it is. Oh, it's like something or other. But yeah, you can look this one up. It's Teen Titans #45. I paid like $10-15 for it. It was going up really for a while, and then it sort of tanked recently. So this is like kind of like, I like to buy comics when they're on the downturn. So this is just one I kind of was specking on a little bit. So this is Teen Titans #45. Okay. And now I'm going to get into the slabs. So the slabs are where the bigger keys are. The Reverse Flash was pretty big, but this is, you know, we're getting into the more major keys that I got. And this is all within the last few days. I just got these. So this is Wonder Woman first series, 274. Okay, and hopefully you can see that. And it's really the important part of this comic is this character right here, which is the cheetah. Now, I'm not sure if this is going to be the cheetah from the movie. There's multiple cheetahs that have gone through, but this is the first new cheetah, and her name was Deborah Domain. The one that's in the movies is probably Barbara Minerva, and she's also, like, I have her first appearance as well. But yeah, this is just kind of a cool comic. Another cheetah one. I'm a big Wonder Woman fan, so you know, just a cool comic to get. And next one is the Swordsmaster. The Swordsman, Swordsman, sorry. And this is Avengers 19. This is like I paid about $100 for this, about 100, 150. And this is his first appearance. And he's kind of like the trainer of the Avengers. So he's kind of like a cool guy. I just thought he was cool. So that's his first appearance. And now the next two I'm going to show this kind of almost like a set because of their significance. This is the Son of Satan, number 1. And this is where Son of Satan gets his own little series. And they're thinking of making this on, I think, on Amazon Prime or one of those channels where they're going to have him have his own series. So it's kind of cool to get that. And I have his first appearance, which is actually in Silver Surfer. Not Silver Surfer, Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider number 2 is his first appearance. And this is Marvel Spotlight number 12, which is his origin. So it's another kind of cool kind of one to get. And this is also the first time where his name's in the title of the comic. So yeah, just another kind of cool one. So as I said, they're going to make a series about him, so it's going to be a big one. Now this is, when I first started collecting comics, I was really into the whole bad girl scene, all those kind of comics. This is back in the 90s, like Lady Death, Vampirella, and the other big one was Razor. So this is like early 90s kind of comic. And this is her first number 1 of her series. This is like a $50 comic. It's not like a super expensive comic, but it's just kind of a cool one. It's her number 1. And it's just, sort of nostalgic for me, the whole bad girl scene. So that's that one. Next one is Firestorm number 1. And this is kind of a major one. He appears in a lot of the movies. I just saw him in one of the Justice League movies. I think it was Crisis on Two Earths. And it was just kind of a cool character. He's kind of like Human Torch. There's really not much difference between the two, but it's kind of cool. He's kind of a cool character. So this is his first appearance and origin. So it's Firestorm number 1, and it's from 1978. So next one. This is actually kind of a cheap comic, but I picked it up just because I'm a big fan of the Joker, and this is the first appearance of Anarchy, which is the Joker's son. So it's kind of a cool comic. It's DC Detective Comics 608. So it's kind of like nice detective comics. This is not that expensive. You can usually get it for around $40. So it's one to maybe check out. Joker is kind of a major character, and his son, has potential, right? So the next one is Creeper. This is the first appearance of the Creeper, which is Showcase number 73. And this is a bit of a pricey book. It's about $100 range. And it's just a kind of a cool first appearance. Yeah, Creeper. How much did I pay for this? Yeah, I just want to check. Yeah, I paid 150 for this. So just to give you an understanding of how expensive it is, that was, it's a pretty pricey book. So it's just his first appearance, kind of a cool comic to pick up. So that's Showcase 73. So let's put that back. This is one, the next one I got is Star Wars 107. Now, I'm a big fan of Star Wars, the original movies, not the recent stuff, but the original movies. Uh, and this one is the very last of the first series of Star Wars. It's sort of the last, it even says last issue. And though it's pretty cheap to get this one right now, still, but it's one that I believe is going to go on the rise as more interest happens with The Mandalorian and other Star Wars stuff that's coming out. So it's kind of like one of those ones where it kind of marks a big turn in the whole Star Wars comics, because it's the last of that series of the first comics. So it's kind of cool, and I just really love the cover. Actually, it just has like all the major characters. It's just kind of a cool cover too. So and this is a bigger book. This is Showcase number 30, and it's the first time that Aquaman gets his name in the title. And it's Aquaman and Aqualad. And it's like, this is like a $200-300 book. So it's a bit more, but it's his first title, which is kind of cool. So this is like from 1961. So yeah, just to give you a sense. Next big one that I got, this is even bigger. This is probably the biggest of the ones I'm going to be showing, is Tales of Suspense number 52. Now, I actually have a bit of an interesting story about this one. I didn't pay that much for it. Normally, if you check eBay, you'll see this goes for about $1,000 in this grade. Now, this is a blue label, but I buy, not blue label, this is a purple label. Whenever I buy a purple label, I do buy purple labels, I always check what is the restoration. And this one had what I consider a mild restoration. So whenever there's a mild restoration, I don't mind picking up a purple label. If it's major restoration, like trimming or glue or something that's kind of major, then I get nervous and I don't buy it. But this one is very minor. It is like slight color touch-ups, and that can be, easily removed later. So it's not a big problem. So yeah, it's just a very cool one because it's the very first appearance of Black Widow. And what happened was, actually, I purchased this as a blue label originally from another vendor, and they wanted, I think they had it at $500. And I was like, wow, that's a really good deal. I jumped on it. It was a lower grade. It was a 3. It was a good deal, I thought, and I bought it. And then they had seller's remorse. They didn't want to sell it. I was like, what? So they canceled the order. I was like, what are you doing? Like, they canceled the order. So then I went to another site, Comic Link. It's a good site. And I found this same, like, there was an auction going on, and I just happened to be able to pick it up for like $300. So I bought, I saved about $200 on the price and got a higher grade with slight restoration. I know that kind of makes it at par with the other one, which was a 3, but it's actually a much nicer looking copy. So I was really, it turned out to work out for me. So I ended up getting cheaper, better comic, which is kind of nice. So that was that one. The next one is another kind of major one that I hear that they're going to do something with. And this is Metal Men. This is Showcase Presents Metal Men, and it's Showcase number 37. Oh, one sec here, so you can see it. And this is the first appearance of Metal Men. Now I paid about $300 for this. This goes for anywhere from $500 to $600. It's a really nice kind of cool thing because it introduces all the different Metal Men characters. So if you're into Metal Men, this is their first appearance. Kind of a cool comic. So the next one is a modern one. Now this one's actually pretty pricey. And if you notice, it's kind of it's lenticular. So yeah, it's Thanos number 13. Now this one is important because it's got the very first appearance of Cosmic Ghost Rider. Now, if you know anything about Ghost Rider, they're going to have a movie coming out either this year or next year. And what they're doing in the next series of movies for Marvel is they're really going to go into space. They're going to focus more on space rather than on Earth. And so Cosmic Ghost Rider would make kind of sense in that scenario, right? So this is his first appearance. This comic, the lenticular is actually slightly cheaper than the normal version, the cover A. I think the cover A goes for about $200 if I'm right. I paid about $90 for this, so that gives you the difference. So this is a 9.8. I bought it in high grade, but it's just I actually prefer the lenticular because it's just such a cool, cool comic. It just looks really awesome. Next one. Almost done. This one is Blue Beetle number 1. Now, you'd think, Blue Beetle number 1 is going to be the first appearance of Blue Beetle, but it's not. It's actually the first appearance of the Question. Now, the reason I got this is I'm a big fan of the Watchmen. And one of my favorite characters in the Watchmen is Rorschach. Rorschach is this character who's just like sort of a cop, not really a cop, more of a detective who basically, he doesn't hold back in terms of the way he questions people. He'll beat them up if he has to get the answers. He'll do whatever it takes to find out who did it and what the real thing is. He's the investigator. He's the one that kind of drives the whole Watchmen story. And he's just a character I really love. He's this ruthless detective. And the Question is the character that he's actually based on. So, this is his Question's first appearance. So kind of cool. The next one with the same kind of, one sec here. Yeah, same theme. One sec, I have to get it. So at the bottom here. And I just got this at the same time, actually, was DC Spotlight number 1. Now, this is actually where they kind of preview a few of the comics that are coming up, and they actually preview the Watchmen in this. So this is where the Watchmen actually makes their first appearance in DC Comics. So this is actually their first appearance. So it's kind of it's one that's really going up in value, especially after the TV series came out, and it's just a very popular. It's one of those ones that people want to get because it's the first appearance of the Watchmen. So I also have the full Watchmen series of comics as well, and those are quite pricey as well. The other one that was underneath is Daredevil number 131. Now this is the first appearance of Bullseye. And the Bullseye is a character who's kind of like one of the major nemesises for the Daredevil. So it's just kind of a cool first appearance. And I'm not a big Daredevil fan. I do like some of the comics. So I got Daredevil number 1, and I do really like Daredevil, but I don't really collect or read his comics as much. But I like to get the major characters from his series. So yeah, so this is one of those where it's the first appearance of Bullseye. Now, here's another one that I picked up, Micronauts number 1. I heard that they're going to be making another series about this, but I don't actually know much about Micronauts. So if you want, you can tell me in the comments below a bit about this. I paid like $60 for it. It's a 9.2. I thought it was, I just heard rumors that they're coming out with a TV or movie series about it. So I thought, hey, why not? I was curious about it. Wanted to, it's a bit of a spec book. And if it's a cool series, then I'm happy to have number one of it. And this is their first appearance. And the last one, very last slab that I got is Moon Knight number one. Now this is his first regular series. He had a sort of a Marvel Spotlight where it was like sort of a series before this where he had his name in the title. But this is his first regular series, and it's the first appearance of the Bushman. So kind of a major character. So this one is like really set to rise because the main rival for Moon Knight is the Bushman. The Bushman actually paralyzes, well, not quite paralyzes, but destroys Moon Knight's legs at one point. So the Bushman's kind of a major character, and this is where he makes his first appearance. Next year, they're actually going to be coming out with a TV series for Moon Knight, so that's pretty exciting. I actually have Moon Knight's first appearance, and that's from Werewolf by Night, number 32, 32. And yeah, it's just, so this is kind of a cool one because it's his first appearance of his major rival, which is the Bushman. So that's the whole haul. It's probably like about $2,000-3,000 worth of comics in that short video that I showed. All major keys. I recommend that if you don't have these in your collection, you might want to try to pick a few of them up. Especially, I really liked I was really excited when the Tales of Suspense number 52 came, which is the first Black Widow. That was just to me, that was like very exciting because I've wanted that book for a long, long time. Ever since I saw Black Widow, Scarlett Johansson, I really wanted to pick up that book. I just never had a chance. I never was lucky enough to get it. So I was very excited to receive that book. So that's my haul in the last few days. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please give me your feedback. And if you have any questions or any comments where maybe I made a mistake about one of the comics, please, tell me. And yeah, thanks for watching.